Joining me now from Indianapolis, Indiana, former White House spokesman for President George W. Bush and political consultant, Pete Seat. Pete, I've got a quick summary for you. You're smiling, but you got to hear my quick summary first. And that is, how I evaluated considered, I guess, the top candidates. Cory Booker, too esoteric. And we all know what Jack Nicholson said, I think, in the movie As Good as It Gets, about people who speak in metaphors. I'll move on. Julian Castro, I think he's the male version of Elizabeth Warren. Bill de Blasio, proving once again who he is, a Marxist socialist. Tulsi Gabbard, I think she's running for Senate, not for president. Amy Klobuchar, was she even there? Beto O'Rourke, he would be the panderer-in-chief. Tim Ryan, maybe the adult in the room. And then Elizabeth Warren, I think clearly trying to one-up Bernie Sanders. And overall, the Democrat Party, if you closed your eyes and you listened to this debate, and it was, say, 30, 40 years ago, you'd think this was the Communist Party debate. So that's my executive summary. What's yours?
Well, that was a pretty good analysis, Graham. My executive summary would be, if socialism is your cup of tea, you had plenty of nearly indistinguishable options to choose from last night. There was Medicare for all, as you mentioned. There was free college tuition. There was massive tax increases. There was more regulation on job-creating businesses. And that was just Elizabeth Warren. That's not to mention open borders coming from Julian Castro and some of the other contenders. It was just, my head was spinning watching this all night long. And I think some of the analysts out there saying it, and I agree, the big winner last night was Donald J. Trump. Each of these 10 Democrats played right into his hands by espousing these far-left socialist ideas, and he came out the victor last night.
Here's where my head was spinning. Every time they spoke, they said that the economy is not working for everyone, which is so anti-free market. It's such a Marxist socialist thing to say in a free market society like ours. But leading the charge on this, of course, is the mayor of New York. Roll tape.
What we're hearing here already in the first round of questions is that battle for the heart and soul of our party. I want to make it clear. This is supposed to be the party of working people. Yes, we're supposed to be for a 70% tax rate on the wealthy.
Right out of the pages of Joseph Stalin, right? And this is classic class envy, redistribution of wealth, and this is where the modern Democrat Party is.
Yeah, the other 70% number, 71%, was mentioned by Savannah Guthrie, one of the moderators of the debate, that 71% of Americans see that this economy is working. Right. It is working. It is creating jobs. It is bringing economic growth across the country. But I do think it was rather fitting that Bill de Blasio had the furthest left position on that debate stage, because he made Elizabeth Warren look like a centrist with some of his response.
No small coincidence he was on the far left of the stage, camera left, as we say in this industry. Cory Booker, if he were to be elected president, God forbid, he would be the dictator-in-chief. Roll tape.
Should pharmaceutical companies that manufacture these drugs be held criminally liable for what they do?
They should absolutely be held criminally liable, because they are liable and responsible.
Imagine that. This is the same kind of notion as holding gun manufacturers liable for someone who commits a murder. It's that same kind of rationale. But this is clearly attacking the free market, clearly attacking successful businesses, and punishing success.
Yeah, and he was also, I would say, the dictator of the debate, where he spoke for nearly 11 minutes of that debate, compared to someone like Bill de Blasio, who barely got 5 minutes of airtime. Cory Booker really did dominate it. Elizabeth Warren got most of the questions directed towards her, but Cory Booker really asserted himself and made sure that he was dictating the terms of the conversation.
And of course, Elizabeth Warren championing Medicare for all, universal health care, whatever you want to call it. It is not free market. It is not a constitutional thing to do. It's what a socialist would do. Roll tape.
There are a lot of politicians who say, oh, it's just not possible, we just can't do it, have a lot of political reasons for this. What they're really telling you is they just won't fight for it. Well, health care is a basic human right.
You know, it's interesting, Pete. They went through all the candidates on this Medicare for all thing, redistribution of wealth, universal health care, attack on the free markets, taking away our freedom and having government imposed. They went through all of them. And these moderators, not one of them asked a follow-up question. Oh, by the way, what's it going to cost? What's it going to cost not only, of course, in liberty, but what would it cost financially to the American people if you actually wanted to perpetrate this on us?
Well, yeah, I mean, Elizabeth Warren has a plan for everything. That's kind of her mantra. But the plan for everything is government run. Everything she wants to do is directed and dictated by the government. Now, I will give the moderator some credit, especially at the very beginning of the debate, the first 15 or 20 minutes or so. They were very skeptical in their line of questioning and effectively looking at these candidates and saying, okay, you've got these pie in the sky ideas, but aren't they effectively pie in the sky?
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.